Welcome to No Stats, where we call it how we see it.
Back again with another one.
We back, bro? It's been a minute.
We been at, guys.
He's got a tummy tuck surgery, so he been out of commission.
and Seth got his left foot amputated, so bro limping around. So you gotta be easy with us, please.
We back from a hiatus. Y'all know what to do, man. Ring that bell, hit that subscribe button, like, share, leave y'all comments. We told y'all we're not going nowhere. We've been going for a minute, and we apologize, but we picking up right where we left off, and we're gonna keep flooding y'all. NBA season right around the corner. We're in the midst of NFL season, college basketball, all of that's coming up. So stay locked in, and we're gonna keep delivering this content for y'all. Love is love, bleak.
Love is love, man. And life sometimes come at you, man, but we here, baby.
We back. That's all that matters.
Watch the handle, it takes skill. We gotta run it back. We in the field, and you said it Jason. You in your field, we looking for the facts. Let's keep it real, yeah, we talking no stats. Yeah, we talking no stats. Yeah, we talking no stats.
All right, bro. We're in the midst of the NFL season, man. We done missed a couple weeks. It's been a lot going on since we revisited. I think we was probably at week what? 2? 3?
3. Maybe dipped into 3 a little bit.
Maybe, yeah. Before we the last time we spoke and recapped the weeks. But you got the Miami Dolphins, who look like the greatest show on turf. They're scoring a bunch of points. They're blowing teams out. Tyreek Hill is on pace for over 2,000 yards. Tua is the favorite for MVP. Mike McDaniels looks like the coach of the year. They're on fire. Everybody's gathering around them. The Detroit Lions are 5-1 for the first time in God knows how long.
You was talking about
they
the
look
line
like
off season too, bro.
Absolutely, and they look like they're living up to the hype right now. Also, they have a very favorable schedule. We'll get into that. So there's a possible chance where they can get the 1 seed in the NFC, especially with the 49ers and the Eagles losing this past week and taking their first loss on the same week. So there's no more undefeated teams left in the NFL. You got a lot of teams that kind of keeping their head above water. The Cowboys got a big needed win. The Bengals evened it up at 3-3 before the bye.
Good. You're
The
feeling like
Jets.
the last time you was here, them goddamn Bengals, boy.
Yeah. And I'm still teeter-tottering, but I'm here. Jets get 3-3 before the bye, right? You see Aaron Rodgers walking around without crutches now, throwing some passes. There's optimism that he can come back later in the season. There's a lot going on. Peach's original team, New England Patriots, look horrible.
Why you gotta say that? I think look, and I don't want the New England fans to jump on me, but I think it's time. Maybe it's time to move on from Bill Belichick, and it's just if you're gonna draft a generational talent, and this is not the NBA, Victor Wembanyama is not walking through that door, or generational quarterback is not coming to New England anytime soon. I don't think. Mm-hmm. I think they need just to shake up the culture a little bit. Bill's style. Your years removed from Tom Brady. I think it's time you get a younger head coach in there. Get a different style a little bit. This old school hard-nosed defense. The Patriots is so boring. I think they need to spice up a little bit, bro. Maybe something to look at this offseason.
I agree, bro. I think this is a perfect place to start. I think Bill Belichick can remain the head coach in New England. But I do think he needs to give up that general manager title, because he can't draft. He can't sign free agents. The Patriots have been so used to playing defense and letting Tom Brady deal with a bunch of no names out there and just making things work. He tell you who he wants. I think now we can tell that Tom Brady was controlling a lot of that offense and covering a lot of Bill Belichick's ass during those years when they had those runs. I think they need to get an offensive coordinator in there, offensive mind to change some things up. Like you said, bro, there's not 2010. It's not that same brand of football. You got to put up points. You need playmakers.
Yes.
Bill Belichick keeps trying to go around playmakers, wide receivers, and running backs and stuff like that because they never really invested in that. especially wide receivers outside of Randy Moss when they got him. But yeah, they need a change in New England.
You need somebody that knows the game now. Like
exactly,
now.
bro. And speaking on Wemby not walking through that door, 1-5 right now. Even if they got the number 1 pick, and Caleb Williams has all this hype around him, I don't. You heard Caleb Williams' dad come out and say, if the situation's not right, we're not going. I don't even know if you want to go to New England. That's how bad it is, bro.
Man,
that's how bad it is, man.
They need to if they get the number 1 overall pick, I think if you do go out and get a quarterback, them rest of them picks, you got to go get playmakers in this draft. You got to go get some receivers that you could dump it off to in a screen that could take it 40, 45 yards, catch passes over the middle, go and just make plays. You got to get exciting a little bit. You got to get some big time guys out there, man.
Yeah, but I don't think that matters a little bit, but you need a new offensive mind in there, bro. It's not that same brand of football. You need a younger coach, somebody who can scheme up some plays and things like that, bro. And then also on top of that, I don't think Mac Jones is that bad of a quarterback. You got to the playoffs his first year when he was there. Didn't look too bad. I mean, you got blown out by the Bills, but you had some success. I don't think Mac Jones is that bad of a quarterback. I think it's a bad coaching job over there and a bad roster, around him.
I want to bring up the Bills, too, now that you brought them up. Like how you looked at them. I think, because you were saying a lot throughout the offseason, how you wasn't too sold on them. And they look a little inconsistent. I don't think they've been putting together, like, full games yet. One game, they look like the Bills of the past. The next game, it looked like they can, regress 3 to 4 games from their total last year. And I think, Josh Allen's, phenomenal superstar quarterback, but still makes those, bonehead plays sometimes. I think this defense sometimes has trouble getting stops, and you seen it in these recent matchups that they had. We were sweating this Giants. They just played the Giants, right? And you see all the way down to the wire, and it took
with a backup quarterback.
Come on, man. And it took them so long to finally get it going, to finally make some plays, to finally drive down the field. And in that game, and still could have lost that game if Waller completes that catch, or if they even called the defensive hold, which I did not like the play calling at the end. I think in that situation, I'm just giving Barkley the fucking ball and the quarterback.
They tried that, though, at the end of the first half.
Oh, see,
and
I
he
didn't
got
see
stopped.
that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, they tried it, bro. They ran out of time. They were on the goal line. Similar situation. They had no timeouts. Might have been about 5 or 6 seconds.
I mean, jump ball to Darren Waller's not bad.
It's not. I just maybe would want him going instead of out of bounds where there's not a lot of field to work with in the back of the end zone. Maybe make him run on like a little out route or a post route. Going towards the corner. That way he got more room to run under the ball or high point it if he wanted to. But I didn't think that was a bad route. You gave it to your best offensive player outside of Saquon, who was coming back on his first week. But I agree with the Bills. But I think the Bills are very inconsistent. I think they're talented, right? And Josh, they're always going to be entertaining. They're always going to be in the playoffs, I think, playoff run, because Josh Allen is a top 5 quarterback in this league, right? He's going to make some things happen. But there's been a lot going on with this organization, and I think, I said this in the offseason, I think they kind of hit their peak in that Super Bowl run for now with the team as constructed. I'm not saying Josh Allen can never win a Super Bowl because he's that good, right? But there's going to need to be some changes. I'm not too sold on their head coach. Stephon Diggs looks like he gets frustrated every other week. He's breaking iPads.
He in there giving Josh Allen an earful. Man.
What?
Another team I want to bring up too. Not to cut you over, bro. Another team I want to bring up is the Chiefs. And I said this when we was doing the preview of them before the season started, that I think this was going to be the year that they actually miss, a guy like Tyreek Hill. And I think you could see it in this offense. They not as potent as they was last year or years prior. And I think it could be a little bit of identity issues with their wide receiving core. And, they just brought Mecole Hardman back today, which I think with that familiarity there. And that's gonna, and I think that'll revamp the way it's, because he wasn't really doing shit on the Jets, and I think that him being familiar with the Chiefs system, and I think he's gonna plug right in and be able to, because he was supposed to be kind of like, the Tyreek Hill after Tyreek Hill left. Yeah, so but I think you got guys like Kadarius Toomey, you got Valdez Scantling, you got Rashee Rice, Sky Moore. It's so many guys that got the potential, but it's like, who is the one, the two outside of Travis Kelce? You know what I mean? And then if you're throwing one or two guys on Travis Kelce, how is this team gonna adjust in the playoffs? And of course, you got Patty. He's gonna definitely 9 times out of 10 figure some shit out, but I just think they're gonna struggle a little bit this year more with the absence of Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, no, I agree, bro. They had a lot of drop passes. Receivers aren't making big plays, and I think that's the big reason why they brought McCole Hardman back. A guy who understands the system, a guy who can. You don't need to teach him the playbook too much. Maybe he needs to refresh a little bit, but he's only been going for a couple weeks, really. As far as games played. But I think the Chiefs will be okay. I don't know if they can get back to a Super Bowl. Number one, winning back-to-back Super Bowls is hard as hell anyway. That's why nobody has done it since in the last 20 years. But they'll be there in the end. I think the Chiefs will be there in the end. But they're another team who haven't been, like, it's so hard to judge teams right now, right? Because I think teams are trying to figure out their identity, where they need to make corrections. Yep. The league is also making corrections and things like that. So I think the Chiefs, the Eagles, the past two Super Bowl opponents, I think both of them, they look very pedestrian, even despite the records. Right? This is this is no stats. We hold the eye test to a higher standard. The Eagles have been sneaking by games. Jalen Hurts has more interceptions than he had all of last year. Patrick Mahomes' numbers, Bob, who we had on the show, showed me this past weekend. Patrick Mahomes' numbers and Russell Wilson numbers are pretty much identical. So we hold Patrick Mahomes to a higher standard, and we know what he can do, so we kind of brush those under the rug. And Andy Reid is such a great coach that they're pulling out games and pulling out victories. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. I outside of the 49ers, I think the 49ers are a really, really good team, and they'll continue to be good. The Chiefs and the Eagles will continue to be good too, but there's nobody that I think separated themselves super far from the pack.
I was gonna ask you not to speak on the team of separation, but who's kind of surprised you this year so far?
One would be Detroit. I know there was a lot of expectation behind this team. The way they finished last year and them starting the season off beating the Chiefs, but I didn't think that they would jump out 5-1. And start like this the way they've been playing. Their defenses look, pretty solid. They have a test this week at Baltimore, which I'm going to be glued to that game. That's the game of the week. But Detroit has surprised me. Your Buccaneers surprised me.
Come on, man! I was just about to pull that thing up real quick.
No, I don't think they
leading that thing, man. Come on!
I don't think they continue this and get in playoff contention or none of that. But as far as winning games and being in games and Baker making some throws and the defense, which you mentioned, I tip my hat to you. You was mentioning that a lot of the defense was still there, and I think they're playing pretty well. Mike Evans dropped a big ball last week.
Big one, bro.
Baker caught him. I think they had a chance to still, compete in that game.
And I feel like those are the games, when you're the Bucks, those are the games you cannot drop, bro.
Yeah.
And the team that surprised me kind of, who I think are now really rolling in the form, I got to say the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that they're kind of, offensively, I think this team has a crazy ass ceiling, man. You got Calvin Ridley, who can fucking break for 80 out of nowhere. Christian Kirk, phenomenal veteran. Then you got some people don't even peep this. Evan Ingram is Trevor Lawrence's favorite fucking target, bro.
He's a beast too.
Come on, man. Then you got Travis in the backfield.
ETN,
it's just
Tank
come
Bigsby.
on. Come on, man. It's so many things. They give me baby Chief vibes from the past. Baby Buffalo. You know them teams that are gonna throw a lot of shit at you offensively. They can hit you from all different angles. So that's why I'm big. If this team can get stops, like if they can stop teams like the Bills, teams like the Chiefs, teams like the Eagles, like if they can stop in these playoff games, I don't want to say Super Bowl.
No,
man,
I agree, bro.
shit.
And they also have a Super Bowl winning head coach, right? Who's been there, who's done it. I think that's big. We always talk about the players so much, bro. But I mention this a lot in football. Coaching is big. You got to put your players in position, no matter how good they are. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. He does some crazy things that's off script that can't be coached. But Andy Reid is Andy Reid. He's been winning for a long time in this league, and the good coaches, the good teams usually have good coaches, and I think Doug Peterson fits that mold. The thing about Jacksonville, and you hit the nail on the head. I think I want to see them get stops come playoff time. When it gets cold, and you got to run the ball a little bit, and you got to get stops. November, December, January, February football. If you make it to February, that's Super Bowl. But November, December, January football is a different brand of football. Sometimes go back and look at the past couple years playoff games and Super Bowl games. It's been field goal wins, right? That's when your defense, that's where it becomes one stop. You got to get a stop. What teams can get a stop? I want to see if Jacksonville can do it. I know last year they got to win against the Chargers, but the Chargers are a team that's also surprising to me. They're 2-3 now, or 2-4, and lose to the Cowboys. That's another bad coaching job. I think Justin Herbert has the talent. I think they got a lot of talent on that team, but they can't get over the hump either, man.
At all.
I don't know, and I don't want Justin Herbert to have. They are, and I don't want Justin Herbert to have a Phillip Rivers career, where you put up all of these stats, get to the playoffs a couple times, maybe get to one AFC Championship game, but never get to a Super Bowl. Just this super talented quarterback that we're wondering what if. And that's where it's looking right now. It's still very young in his career. The Chargers can turn it around, but that's the organization that, people talk about other organizations. I don't think the Chargers have had much success, if ever.
Not even player success, you can say, but as far as like a franchise, you didn't really see much. I want to ask you, so we talked about your surprising team. What's one team that surprised you in a way that you thought they were going to be better and they're like fucking trash? Can I start, please? Can I get this off my chest real fast? The fucking Denver fucking Broncos. I am sick of these guys. And it's like this year I can't even blame Russell Wilson because he's not even playing that bad. Especially not from last year. But I think they have wide receiver core drama. I don't know what's been going on with Jerry Jeudy. I've been seeing his name in trade talks. These guys can't stop a lick of fucking offenses, man. And it's just like, who's that coach? Sean Payton?
Yeah, Sean Payton, that coach now.
Sean Payton, it's like, we was expecting some, turnaround. Like, what the fuck is going on in Denver, bro?
I think expectations were too high. I think for Sean Payton to come in and fix something that fast, that was that bad, is a tall task. I think Russell Wilson isn't playing too bad, but I think Russell Wilson is his flame is going out. His light is dim.
It's so hard.
He can still do some things.
It's so hard to
bro.
see it,
but it happens, bro. It happened, and I know he's younger than these guys, but we've seen it happen with Eli Manning. We've seen it happen with Big Ben. We've seen it happen with Phillip Rivers. We've seen it happen with Matt Ryan. That kind of class of quarterbacks. Tom Brady. You always preach this, bro. How he look in his last year, right? Yeah. So like that the young guys, the Patrick Mahomes, the Joe Burrow, the Josh Allen, the Justin Herbert, the Jalen Hurts. It's a different breed of quarterbacks right now, bro. Even Aaron Rodgers. I know there's a lot of hype because he's in New York, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers looked like the same Aaron Rodgers he looked like 3, 4, 5 years ago last year when he was healthy. So yeah, Denver, but mine is the Giants, bro. We as the offseason progressed, I started looking at this Giants team. I liked Brian Daboll and what he was able to do last year. I did. I'm gonna stand on that. I thought Daniel Jones was good enough to get it through. to get past. When you look at the Giants' past Super Bowl wins, they won a Super Bowl with Phil Simms. They won Super Bowls with Eli Manning. Quarterbacks that was good enough, but not super great quarterbacks, right? So I thought Daniel Jones could be enough to get him over that hump. They traded for Isaiah Simmons in the offseason. I thought that defense would be better. Yeah. I'm sorry, B-Gal, but them Giants done.
We gotta get my man B-Gal on it. I think Saquon Barkley being their Achilles heel is and we talked about it in our offseason preview. He's just too much of an Achilles heel for them. If anything happens to Barkley, the games is just lost. Just mark all the games down as lost. You don't even stand a chance because Barkley is the only person on that team that's like a big play guy. Daniel Jones, he makes plays, but like he has too many mistakes on top of with the trash ass offensive line that they got. He's getting sacked 15, 19. I lost fucking count how many times he's been sacked.
Seahawks sacked him 11 times.
Yeah, like it's like
That's
stuff like that. The wide receiving core, it's like these guys are a gang of misfits. And that's no disrespect. I know you're in the NFL, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, I feel like who is going to cement themselves as I am the number one guy? Darren Waller can't get all the targets, obviously, because everybody's hovering around him. So that's been a struggle. And you got Darius Slayton, you have Paris Campbell, you have fucking
Jalen Hyatt, the rookie.
Jalen Hyatt, like, it's just like somebody, they're a fucking mess. Yeah. But as long as they're able to hand the ball off to Barkley or get Barkley the ball, he can stretch drives out. He can make plays. Yeah. He can have them in games. And you've seen that with the Bills, against the Bills.
Agree. And this is going to sound crazy. What are the Giants? 1-5 right now? Maybe it's a little too late. But I think we're 6 weeks into the season. I think the rest of the NFC will come down to life, right? Not the Eagles, not the top teams, right? Not the Eagles. I think the Cowboys will find their footing, right? They got blown out by the 49ers. But this is what I mean by prisoner of the moment. I pride myself on trying not to be a prisoner of the moment. I know the Cowboys lost. I just showed Peach a bet, but I bet the Cowboys against the Chargers. Right? The Cowboys are a nice team, right? They're going to make the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl, but we be prisoner of the moment so much that we can't look past it. But I think the Giants can have a chance to kind of push. I don't know what the rest of their schedule look like, so maybe I'm talking out the side of my neck, and I am, maybe they got a gauntlet of a schedule they got to play now. But I two quick bets that I like before we get into our last topic. I like the Giants at home against the Commanders, money line, and I like the Eagles at home against the Dolphins. And I know this is what I mean by prisoner of the moment as far as this both games really, but the Eagles-Dolphins game. The Eagles lose to the Jets. Jalen Hurts throws 3 picks in that game. A lot of people are saying the Eagles aren't this, they aren't that. The Eagles are still a really talented team, and Jalen Hurts is still a really, really good quarterback, right? The Dolphins, on the other hand, I'm going to let you go. The Dolphins, on the other hand, exciting. The whole world wants to watch the Dolphins, right? You got Tyreek Hill grabbing cell phones and doing backflips in the end zone. But I just want to leave the viewers with this. The Dolphins are 5-1. The 5 teams they beat have a combined record of 5-24. They are really good at beating really bad teams. If you're bad, they're going to stomp on you. We seen them play one good team, playoff team, in the Buffalo Bills. And what was that? 48-20? They looked like the team that was getting stomped on. On top of that, you got to come to Philly, right? The Eagles lost in New York. Philly teams, I won't say all of them. The Sixers will lose, but the Eagles and the Phillies. You look at the Philadelphia Phillies right now in the MLB. It's hard to beat teams in Philly, bro.
Yes,
that crowd, that atmosphere, the stadium starts shaking. And then on top of that, we talked about this in our maybe the Dolphins and the Eagles preview. But remember, Tua took Jalen Hurts' spot at Alabama. Jalen Hurts got benched at halftime of the national championship game. Tua came in, won the national championship at Alabama. Jalen Hurts had to transfer to Oklahoma. So now, and then Tua gets drafted above Jalen Hurts in the same draft. I think with Jalen Hurts playing the way he did, he's a guy who, I talk about intangibles. Jalen Hurts is watching tape right now, trying to figure it out. I think he'll probably be up to a 1-8. Like, I think he's that type of guy.
My only problem, and this is what I was gonna say, my only problem with Jalen Hurts, I think is, I think last year he did a great job of spreading the wealth out within the offense, and for some reason this year I think that he's having trouble with that. He's fucking force-feeding AJ Brown,
but AJ Brown yelling at him and shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and I could be a little biased on this because I've taken Devontae Smith the last 2 weeks. I took him for his yards the week before, 50 yards, which he should be getting in his damn sleep. Doesn't get that. Took him to score because I'm thinking like, all right, bounce back game. But it's like the targets and the usage. I know he was dealing with a little bit of an injury, but I feel like Hurts has to go back to spreading the love out. That's what made them this juggernaut a little bit last year.
But this is what happens, bro. Certain receivers, AJ Brown is a monster. He's a freak of a receiver, bro. He's that bull when it comes to being a wide receiver. You can't tackle him. You throw the ball high enough, you're not going to jump over it and get him. It pretty much has to be a bad throw for you to stop AJ Brown. That's how good of a receiver he is. But some of these receivers, I won't say prima donnas and divas. I hate that notion, but they want the ball. They got incentives. They got, they want to show who they are, best friend or not. I think AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts are tight, but I don't know if it was week 2 or whatever.
Yeah, he
was yelling at him. And Jalen Hurts was like, I got you. Since then, AJ Brown has had like 125 yards in like the last 4 games. Yeah. So he's been getting the pill, but it's going to wear show on other receivers.
And I don't think he had
that's what starts
like that last year.
They didn't, bro. They didn't. Man. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm gonna wrap up here. I know we had 27 minutes. I don't want to keep going, but I gotta finish talking about my Bengals. I have to.
Oh, he feeling good. He was crying on that week.
3-3 going into the bye. Now, this past game against the Seahawks, I was still fuming a little bit because the offense started off hot. It looked like they picked up where they left off the prior game against the Cardinals, where Jamarr Chase went bonkers, 192 yards, 3 touchdowns. They started the game well, couldn't get anything going in the second half. Defense played phenomenal. Multiple stops in the red zones, 2 interceptions, bunch of sacks. Defense has been carrying us, this whole season so far. But Joe Burrow is getting healthy. That's the 2 biggest things I take away from the Bengals throughout these first 6 games. 3 biggest things. We know Joe Burrow's strength is calf. His movement was limited. If you watch those, the first 4 weeks of the season, teams were just loading the box and blitzing and saying, he can't move on that calf. Blitz him. And that's what they were doing. And Joe Burrow had to get the ball out super fast. We couldn't, get under center. We couldn't run. The playbook was limited. And it was literally handicapping our offense. Hence the 3 points against the Browns, the 3 points against the Titans. It was just hard to, the coaching staff had to coach around it. And honestly, Joe Burrow calf just had to heal a little more. He had a setback in week 2 against the Ravens. But then that Cardinals game, you seen him move around. You seen him drop back and make that big pass to Jamarr Chase, and it was like, oh, here it comes. And then last week, we see him move around. He had a play where he scrambled up, scrambled back. That's more important to me than anything because it shows that he's getting healthy. Well, number 1, he has a bye week, so he has 2 weeks to rest on it. Number 2, the defense stepped up and said, we're going to carry this team. And they're looking like they're the defense that has been in the AFC Championship game last year and the Super Bowl the year before. This defense doesn't have a lot of big names, but they step up and make plays. Trey Hendrickson is second in the league in sacks. Cam Taylor-Britt got 2 interceptions. Logan Wilson got 2 interceptions. Dax Hill got 2 interceptions. We turning the ball over at a high rate, and the boys is getting healthy, and we 3-3 right now, and don't look yet. But here we come, baby.
You know it's good. Two things before we wrap up. It's good that you guys hit this adversity early. Like people take that kind of for granted, because sometimes you could be rolling. You know, you roll off 7-8 of them, and
you don't want to play your best football now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Hit the walls, get the address the issues, address the elephant in the room, get through the injuries, get through the shit, and then when y'all start rolling after y'all already got 6 games under your belt, this is when other teams is fuming out, more injuries coming. Y'all rolling at the right times, bro.
Exactly, bro. And sorry.
Mine is the intake.
Really quickly, Super Bowl year, I think we were 4-4 at the bye. 2 years ago, we went to the Super Bowl. Last year, we were 5-4 at the bye, and then rattled off 7 straight wins or 8 straight wins to finish the season 12-4. Like, this is a pattern for the Bengals. Like, the Bengals don't start strong the past 3 years. And then you add on top of that the injury that Joe Burrow had. So I think this team will figure it out. They've been in this spot before. Coming off this bye, though, we're in San Fran for the 49ers. This is a big game. Not a make-or-break season game because we were able to get to 300. But if we can win this game, I think the world starts going, okay, the Bengals are back to being the Bengals we've seen these last 2 years. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
I like that. And Joe Burrow, we trust. And
yes, sir. You already know.
It's still not too late to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win a division. It is still not too late. Lock it in.
Lose your money.
Lock it in.